This podcast is owned and operated by the RCR Association, a private third party to the Department of National Defense. The content of this podcast is the responsibility of the RCR Association and does not necessarily reflect the views or policies of the Government of Canada. The official emblems of the regiment are used with the permission of Regimental Headquarters, the RCR.
Hey everybody, Sergeant Singh from 3RCR here with the RCR Association podcast. Our guest today is Major Retired Dave Smith, who spent 18 months serving on the front lines in Ukraine. He's going to show us today some of the equipment and kit that he used and that he recommends. Dave, thanks.
Cool. Yeah, man. So I'll just start off by saying, the kit is evolving rapidly there. Guys are changing kind of your normal loadout all the time. This was just what I was wearing by the time I left last fall. The rig itself is the Cry cage plate carrier, not the it's called the Cry CPC, not the Cry JPC. Lots of guys have a jump plate carrier. It's much smaller, thinner. It's more of like a door kicker style rig. Lots of people loved it. This one is quite a bit heftier. It's more comfortable. It has like these removable comfort pads on the inside that you can use for pressure points. So if there's like something that's really bothering you, you can take it off and readjust these. I really like that. It's a meatier rig. It's bulkier. It really is. But I was doing really old school light infantry shit where you're wearing this for like 3, 4, 5 days at a time. So I would say go a bit heavier. Okay. So cummerbund goes up. So I'm just going to talk about why I like this rig so much. I don't like Cry as a brand, but they do certain things really here. Can you film this one real quick? Notice this strap here. So this is the first thing that goes under the cummerbund. Okay. This pouch solves so many problems. You don't need external pouches for almost anything because of stuff like this. You could put a radio here. You could put extra mags here, smoke grenade or whatever. And then whenever you have whatever's over it, boom, you just put this there. And now move your arms around, right? Wow. You could have a radio right here, right? And it's not in your way. It's dope, right? Yeah. Another thing, dope product. That guy that I was talking about that I joined the Belarusians with, the other Westerner, he gave me this. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I never had. It's called the Wing Thing. You can literally just zap strap anything to this, and it just turns it into an integrated piece of your vest.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think it probably costs like $40 or something. You know what I mean? Because I really don't like external pouches. I don't like shit like this. You know what I mean? I'd prefer it if I could just have everything fucking internal. The other thing, soft Kevlar. Dude, as soon as you go, there are people that don't wear side plates. I went through one artillery barrage. And I was like, I want all the Kevlar on me that I can get. The problem is I'm a pretty narrow dude, you know what I mean, shoulder wise. So when I had hard plates, I had level 4 hard plates here. Yeah, it bulked up big time. And then if I was carrying like an ammo can or something, my arm would start to go numb. So Ukrainian company actually custom makes these, and they're not expensive at all. So I just went in with this pouch and I was like, can you make me one that fits exactly this? And they literally just cut it and sewed it right there. And now it just stays there. Yeah. And it's comfy, eh?
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Does change the game.
Yeah. Okay. So then on this side, here, next thing I'll mention, this is a hanger bag. I have Kevlar on the back of this as well. I never had one of those cock pads that you see a lot of the guys in social media videos wearing. I really should have had one. By the time I left, almost everyone did.
No kidding. Cover up as much with Kevlar
yeah,
as you dare.
It's just, it's a trade-off between you need to be able to move as fast as possible all the time, but you also want to be covered up as much of the time.
A balance of mobility and protection.
And exactly. Yes. You sound like an officer. Yeah.
Yo. He didn't say that.
So I don't know what it's called, but the groin protector thing, it's really not that heavy. Guys don't seem to mind running around it. I should have at least been wearing one in the defense when we're static. You know what I mean? Along with that, everybody should have this. It literally costs nothing. It weighs nothing.
What is that?
It's a sitting pad. It's just for fucking sitting.
Everyone we trained had.
Yeah.
Dude, it's fucking dope. I know the first time you see it, it's ridiculous, but you can talk, Hondo. I know the first time you see it, it's ridiculous, but trust me, you wear it for one day, you're like, oh, now I get it. Yeah. But anyways, I'll talk about belt stuff in a minute. So the more things you have hanging on you, like the less mobile you are. It's just a fact. But I would say if you can get Kevlar in front of your junk and your vital organs or whatever, especially when it's freebie, right? Like this is, this is great, right? You have access to, there's my compass. You know what I mean? This is where I had my batteries for my NVG. This is where I had my chapstick. This is where I had my electrical tape. You know what I mean? So all your fucking little things.
It's so much better than having it up here.
Yeah, 100%. And it's adding to your protection, right? You now have like a nice little light piece of Kevlar there that you otherwise wouldn't have. You know what I mean? I had this for my smartphone because if it's not on video, no one believes it happens.
Were you guys bringing your smartphones up to the...
Most people had like an ops smart. Like I had one that was like my personal one, and then one that was like my Ukrainian ops phone. I would say by the end, we were pretty much doing all GoPros because like the units start like enough dudes got GoPros and enough dudes were buying GoPros. And for our situational like awareness software, most of the team leaders had tablets issued. So the smartphone kind of became redundant while I was there. But I'd had one, and it's pretty dope to just be like, film, off I go. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, turn around. Okay, so the Cry CPC comes with everything, or it comes with just the rig. I bought this. Also, by the way, I have level 4 plates from a company called Marstar. They're near Cornwall. Good price, awesome. Highly recommend them. Canadian manufacturer. So if you're in the market for plates, they're dope. I love this thing. I call it the Ninja Turtle pouch because when you fill it up, it looks like you have a fucking Ninja Turtle shell. I had a Camelback in here all the time. You could, if I was carrying like extra boxes of ammo for whatever reason, I would often put them just in the bottom of here. The main reason I love this is like, just put your hand behind you. There's a mag right here. Like normally, right? So like when you're taking a knee and you're reloading and you don't want to your like fast mags, like the ones you can get the fastest, you don't want to like replace those. You can just reach behind you and do it. I thought that was dope. I loved it.
Did working there for a little bit inspire you to get these accessories?
No, this I bought with the vest.
Okay.
And I just put it on and never took it off.
Okay.
And I met 2 other dudes that had it. One who had a Cry rig and put it on there, and another guy that just saw it and got it for his own plate carrier. The other thing that's pretty dope is it has like a pass-through sleeve in the back. Where is it? Right where you can. So you can either put your E-tool down here and it like rests like a samurai sword, or you can actually just tuck this in and you can pass stuff all the way through. So if you're carrying like a longer shovel or just any tools, it's not mission critical. It's not like, oh my God, if my vest doesn't have that, I'm fucked. But once I figured out what it was for, I was like, damn, this is useful. Because I can now carry all my water and my E-tool like accessible and still like be ready to gunfight. You know what I mean? Okay, a couple other things to say right here. Just turn sideways. Right, I don't like external pouches, but certain things you absolutely need. So like my Gerber, I had a flashlight in here. My shears for medical. This is a pouch that I bought this in Canada over 10 or 15 years ago. Medical gloves. Suit, dude, fucking critical. And I know it's, I don't want to sound like a dick or whatever, but like when you're running over to help buddy who just, took shrapnel or got his foot blown off or whatever, you still want to put your fucking gloves on. Most of the time you're wearing your own, lettering mechanics gloves or whatever. But if you have to start doing finicky things, if you're tying shit or whatever, put gloves on. And the more, like, if you have them right there on you, you're more likely to. If you have to go digging through a first aid kit, you're not going to do it. But if they're like right here, I used it twice for real, and I'm glad I had them. So it's worth carrying around, and it weighs nothing. Tourniquets, you never have enough tourniquets, so I got 3 on here. I also had one on the front of my belt, which goes like right there. and I don't know if it's here right now. I had one on the bottom of my first aid kit as
Were
well.
you picky about which type of
Yeah,
tourniquet?
it's got to be cat. They won't even let us do it. Like that medic that I was telling you about, she saw on my rig once that I had one non-cat tourniquet, and she like went into her trench and got me a cat tourniquet and gave it to right there. So, yeah, the cheap Chinese crap, like don't even risk it. It doesn't work. Like I've met people. They're like, yeah,
It'll break.
guy
It'll
lost
break
his leg
on-
because the fucking tourniquet broke. Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't witness it, but I totally believe it because I've seen, when they're like when we do training, one of the
Yeah.
medics would demonstrate how easy it was to snap them. This is a Gerber knife that I got from like Bass Pro Shop or something. I just camouflaged the handle. I'm not gonna hate you. It's dope. The only thing I don't like this fucking windshield breaker or whatever it's for because of just where I had it. If you fall on it or if you like your head took one of these, I was always afraid like this was going to leave me like with a big gash on my pretty beard. So I love this knife, but I would just prefer it without this thing. But that said, I did carry it the whole time. I had one pouch here for a smoke grenade. A lot of times if I didn't feel I needed a smoke grenade, it was either empty or this wasn't there. And that's it for external pouches. So just on this rig, I had 3 mags here, 2 mags back here, 2 mags on my belt. So that's 7. I had 1 in each of these pockets, the internal ones. I had 1 here and here. And then if I had to carry a radio or something, I would just take 1 out and put the 2 mags here and put the radio there. But so I had 9 mags on me and 1 in my rifle. A lot of guys had 40 round mags up here. It was too high. It was too big. I just didn't like it. And then a lot of guys have like a 60 round mag on their rifle, right? Because, you don't need to fit it in anywhere because that's just what you're going to use when the engagement starts. And then you're going to ditch it in your fucking dump bag. So it doesn't actually need to fit in any pouch.
Right.
Right. So it's just that whenever you step off, they have a 60 round mag on them. So that right there, like for very little weight increase, I've added an 11th mag. You know what I mean? I just never got around to purchasing one. For belts,
What kind of belt is
this is the Ronin something expensive belt.
Okay.
My recommendation would be for 3RCR type dudes or infantry dudes. I wouldn't say go combat belt. I'd go web belt with like thin suspenders under that for a bunch of reasons. Number one, once the winter hit, this thing was useless. Like the Ronin combat belt is probably dope for the War on Terror. And it's all gunfighter stuff. But once the winter comes, you can't even get it on because you have so much gear on and you need a Velcro inner to wear it, right? So if you can't get your Velcro inner around your winter pants and shit, it doesn't even work. And also the thing about the web belt is if you're doing, if I was in Bakhmut doing urban stuff, maybe this would have been better because there's a lot more gunfightery.
Right.
But like when we're living in trenches for days, you want to have like some pleasure pouches on your, you know what I mean? You want like an old school, like traditional British web belt, you know what I mean? But yeah, so on this one, I had tourniquet, headlamp, three frag grenade pouches. So 1, 2, 3. The only reason they're spread out is just to distribute the weight evenly. So I had smoke grenade pouch there, and then I have 3 frag grenade pouches here. And usually I would have 1 or 2 more frags. If I thought if we're on the assault or something, I'd have them in my dump pouch. You know what I mean? Just because those would be the first ones that I would use. Like you can just get it really quickly and use it. First aid kit, 2 more mags. That's about it. I think at one point I had something up here, but I forget what it was. But anyway, so my final, statement would be Ronin belt. This dope, but it's like $300. And ultimately, as soon as the weather got cold, I had to leave it in my kit and go buy a cheap web belt. This is a first aid pouch that I converted to my NVG pouch. So you always want to have your NVG on you, right? So right now I just have my ballistic eyewear in there, but this would be right here, right? So as soon as the sun starts going down, even if we're walking, I don't have to like worry at all. I just take it out, put it on my helmet. The point that I want to make about the first aid kit, this is my actual first aid kit. I won't go over everything that's in it, but the key most important point is that it's right in the center of your back. And the reason you want it right in the center of your back is you want to be able to get at it with both hands. So you would see some guys would have it like on one side of their plate carrier or whatever. But if your left arm gets blown off and you were counting on reaching to the right side of your body to get your first aid kit, now you're going to lose your arm because you weren't able to access your first aid kit in the middle of your back. All the people that did our medical training, like the Ukrainian medics and the medical doctor that I was talking about, they all absolutely insisted you had to have at least 4 tourniquets on the front of your body where you could access them, and your first aid kit had to be on the center of your back. And that was one of the very few standardization practices that the regiment had. My iPro, I always just kept in here, and then as soon as we got in the back of the truck, I put it on. I didn't have like a special pouch or anywhere to keep it. Okay, helmet. This is the Team Wendy. You can take that off if you want. This is the Team Wendy Ballistic 2, I want to say, helmet. Here's the thing about Team Wendy. Absolutely the most comfortable thing I've ever had on my head. The adjustments are dope. It's very expensive, and it's basically the Apple computer of helmets, because once you buy it, only their attachments fit on it. So like these, forget what you call them, but like the arms that hold your ear protection, on all other helmets, they have like a standardized, it's called an arc rail. Damn it. And you can just buy them anywhere. You could get them on Amazon for like $10, but then you have to buy Team Wendy's. They're like $100 and they're impossible to get. So the Team Wendy helmet is a bit of a trade-off because it's like super comfortable. And if you could just show back here, I think most helmets have these now, but it's literally like just tightens it around your head. I don't know how they make theirs so fucking comfortable, but it absolutely is. And I never had to mess around with the pads or nothing. Having your ear pro on your helmet, there's like pros and cons. I did wear it under my helmet a little bit, but when you're wearing it for days at a time, it's so uncomfortable that eventually I just invested in Team Wendy's shitty little fucking connectors that were way too expensive. But yeah, so that's what I'd say about the helmet. And I had, I shelled out for ear pro that had an integrated radio. So this literally just connected to my radio right here. I could change channels, do all my stuff or whatever. And the great thing about these arms, as opposed to wearing it on your, I have one, but like a normal style ear pro, you can just loosen these off of your head and you can still hear your radio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I thought it was pretty dope. Counterweight for your NVG. I never bothered with like weights themselves. I would just put a rock in the back of it. But I did find once I mounted these to the helmet, it was almost so balanced. You put the NVG on it, like literally like a 4-pack of AA batteries was enough weight to counterbalance the NVG. Okay, so this is the SIG. So you have this is the piece that's right in front of your eye, right? So that's the optic. Okay, and I think it's a 3 power. Right, and I usually kept it up, right, and then you just have your red dot in front of that. Okay, I don't like 2-piece sights. I've officially decided. However, eventually, when like your gun becomes like your gun, like my Bren became like, I loved it. Like the armorer wrote my name on it, my call sign. I painted it myself. I had my sling adjusted exactly how I liked it. I knew how to carry stuff with it. So even though I had opportunities to get better rifles, and I did actually barter with a guy for a much better optic, however, I just, after zeroing it, it took me like a hell of a long time to zero it correctly. It took like 3 trips to the range. But after like a month or 2, I was like, I feel like it's not perfect, but it's mine. You know what I mean? So I just stuck with it the whole time through. I just found it was really hard to get it zeroed, I think, because you have to zero each of them independently. You know what I mean? 3 times magnification is not that helpful. It's almost like right in the, like a red dot by itself is pretty dope for when you're doing trench clearing and close up stuff. And then an optic like 6 to 8 times zoom can be super helpful when you're doing traditional light infantry, that 200 to 300 meter range
engagement.
You know what I mean? 3 times zoom, like, you know what I mean? Like I just didn't find it that helpful. This is the 4-stock grip that I was talking about. And it's just got like a little bipod in the handle.
Yeah.
It's so wobbly and shaky. I wouldn't trust it if I was trying to do marksman stuff. Like if I was trying to do a scored shoot or whatever, I wouldn't use this. But for keeping it out of the mud, it's good. And then I had a flashlight on the front. This one, it's for a Picatinny rail, which is pretty convenient because I could put on my helmet as well.
Yeah.
If I wanted to, which I did a couple of times when we're doing like work. This is my sling, Faro Concept sling. I liked it a lot. It's 2-point, which I know not everybody loves, but I don't have it connected to anything, but it's the kind that you can adjust with one hand. You know what I mean? So you just pull it away from your body and does that. You know what I mean? And you can readjust it with one hand as well. I thought it was pretty dope. Like we were talking about on the earlier part of the podcast, you end up doing a lot of work party stuff, like a lot of like carrying ammo cans, carrying water and shit. You really want a sling that will like glue the weapon to your front or glue the weapon to your like back between your shoulder and your small pack. You don't want it banging around. You know what I mean? Because you spend so much time using both
You want
hands.
that range of motion?
Yeah. You really want something that lets you use both your hands effectively without a rifle like slamming into your leg or anything. This is the UF Pro boonie cap. It's fucking dope. It's got like just at the front and back, it's got little bits of like weed whacker wire or something just so you can adjust it. And it's actually great for when you're shooting and it's rainy. Obviously you're not wearing this very much at the front, but day to day, like we'd be in the training ground doing pre-deployment training for like a month and a half or whatever. You're definitely going to want a hat to walk around in. So this is good. They're expensive, but this is dope and it didn't wear out at all. These are the UF Pro patrol shirts or whatever you want to call them. I wore the fuck out of them. The only reason I bring these up and say like they're dope, love them. They have these comfort pads like stitched into the side of the shirt, so when your belt and all your weight is on your hips, there's like a nice.
Oh wow.
Yeah. There's like a nice little, I don't know, just
padding.
Yeah, it's not like huge or thick or whatever, but it makes like a huge difference. And if you've ever been wearing like a web belt or like a battle belt or something that is like rubbing on you and at the end of it you have like big bruises and shit, this prevents that. And it's when you're out and you don't take that stuff off for 4 days, 5 days in a row, it's really nice. And then it's also got like integrated shoulder pads. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And all this stuff's washable, right? So you can like actually take them out and wash it and shit. Huge difference. And I definitely noticed everybody over there that because they're if you put them on, they're really unique looking. You can like spot other people that are wearing them because everybody looks like they have shoulders like RoboCop. You know what I mean? And every time I saw somebody that was wearing one, I'd be like, is that a UF Pro tunic? And the guy would be like, yes, it's the greatest thing I ever spent money on, you know? I bought a bunch of UF Pro gear. These are kind of like the heavier weight pants. I bought it on a whim just because the guy that knew a lot about gear was like, UF Pro is the cat's ass, and if you can get it, get it. And he was absolutely correct. So these are the heavyweight pants. I wore these when like basically fall, winter, spring. Awesome. And they're like still in working condition. Like, I wore these quite consistently.
What's the brand?
UF Pro is what they're called. UF Pro. And they're from, I want to say they're from Slovenia or Slovakia or one of those places. I did get these at a tactical store just outside Toronto. But I think now you'd probably have to get it online. The real ones that were like my all day, everyday ones, these are the summer weight ones. They are phenomenal. And I don't think you'll be able to show it on film, but like feel here. Like that's stretchy, thin material.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like, all your stress points are like super thick, what's the word that I'm looking for? Robust like material that like you can kneel on, you can crawl around on the ground on, but anything that's not one of those points, it's like this super soft, stretchy material that is somehow ripstop. And it like makes a huge difference. So these are probably like $200 pants. If I lost them or they ripped or something, I would be immediately online trying to find them again.
Same brand?
Same brand, UF Pro, yeah. Okay, rain gear. This is Cry Precision rain gear. Garbage. It's so loud. It is so, or sorry, this is Arc'teryx and these are Cry. I didn't bring my Cry jacket. The Arc'teryx jacket, okay, but the problem is you can't wear it over your belt. You know what I mean? And I didn't actually have a web belt until I got to like the winter phase.
Why is it too short to wear over your belt?
It's just, well, you can wear it over your belt, but you have to have it unzipped. right? It doesn't have like a bottom zipper or anything. And if you put it on over your belt, you can't access anything on your belt. You know what I mean? So if you're sitting in like a listening post overnight or whatever, getting poured rain on or whatever, you have to choose like, do I want to be able to access my stuff or do I want to have my jacket buttoned up, zipped up? So I didn't love it. It was much too loud. The cry gear is even louder. The one thing I did like about this, or I guess this is Arc'teryx or cry, I can't remember, is that it's got like full length zips, which I would highly recommend if you don't, or if you're not already looking at it. Full length zips are what you need because you're like, dude, I'm not joking. When you go out on mission, like none of your shit's coming. Your boots probably aren't coming off. You know what I mean? It's very unlikely that you're going to take your Kevlar off unless you're like in a well-developed trench system. You know what I mean? So you really want to be able to get this shit on and off easily. But I would say everybody has ponchos. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if they're issuing real ponchos right now. I probably went through like 6 or 7 of these because you end up having to abandon them all the time. Like if you're on the assault or if you're trying to get out of a position in the defensive or whatever. You definitely want to go as big as possible. This is not one of the bigger ones that I had. If you can, like there's like scenes in Apocalypse Now where you see all the Vietnam era guys wearing ones and it looks like they're wearing like a car cover. You know what I mean? I would go for that because this ends up being your overhead. Like you're asking about counter UAS. This is your counter UAS. Like you're literally taking paracord out and tying this up over your trench position, right? And it might even, by trench I mean it might be like a Ranger great fight, shell scrape. So the bigger the better. Rockies. So I had 2 real sets of boots while I was over there. I had high top Rockies. These ones are really good, except that the fucking eyelets kept shredding the laces, which is why there's paracord in here right now. If I could have had more time to get ready with them, I would have gotten like a fine grit sandpaper and fucking sanded down all the eyelets so they just stopped cutting. Because I was literally replacing with paracord like out at the 0 line, so that's a pain in the ass. But once again, these lasted the whole time. I also had low top Loas that I would use for anything where I thought there'd be a lot more running. But they were shredded, so I just threw them out before I left. And I would actually say by the end, I was really just wearing these all the time because like I was like being an old man, I was so afraid of rolling an ankle. I was like, I don't want to die because I rolled an ankle. You know what I mean? And like when the drone's looking for you, the last thing you want is to be like limping along. So I was like, I would rather have heavy feet while I'm running, but know that I have more ankle protection. A couple shout outs to the 3RCR kit shop. I bought this puffy at the 3RCR kit shop in 2010. It has been on all my deployments in the CAF. It has been on every brigade exercise I ever did or whatever. So it's nothing special. It's a puffy. I just wanted to say thank you, kit shop. Same goes for my sleeping bag. I have a Snug Pack sleeping bag that I bought here as well, like 10 or 12 years ago. This is from a company called T3, which I had never heard of before. I think it's actually designed for combat engineers. And basically it has a very, very small main pouch, right? That you could, if you wanted, detach and put on your plate carrier, which a lot of dudes did do over there. I didn't because I felt it worked really effectively with these straps. I love these straps because they have these long, I don't know what you call them, but like
adjustments,
tubular nylon. Yeah, adjustments, so that you can like fit it over this part of your plate carrier.
Right.
You can fit it like correctly with your sling. So I fiddled around with these a lot and then just never moved them once I had them perfect until winter came and then you're wearing bigger stuff. You could go back and readjust them so that everything sits correctly. Because like there were definitely periods where I went like over 24 or 36 hours without ever taking this thing off. You know what I mean? This is what I would go out with for 4 days, 5 days. Nothing bigger than this. The reason I love it so much is this external pouch gets like huge. You could put tons of machine gun ammo in here, extra mags, food. I would usually have my Nalgene. So I'd have like my Camelback with water in a straw. But then you usually want a Nalgene to like mix electrolytes or make tea or whatever. So I would usually have a Nalgene with water in here as well. And like when I say it's big, I mean like I can fit my whole helmet in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then usually what I would do is when we actually went to and from the front, I would take my sleeping bag and just take these straps that go over it, and just like the old style jump ruck, like the A-frame jump ruck, I just attach that on top of it. We'd get to the trench or wherever, wherever we were getting dropped off. I'd leave my sleeping shit, and then the rest of the week I would just be running around like that. Okay. I had a couple cleaning kits while I was over there. I kept losing them or breaking them or damaging them. I found by the end, this whole idea that you're going to be like cleaning your weapon under fire with no light in the dark, like this bullshit. So I found that because this goes perfectly in the side pouch of my thing. I wanted something that keeps everything like super, well, shit, as I say it, super secure. But also nothing like hard plastic, nothing that's going to crack, nothing that's going to break, nothing that where like shit might spill out of it. So for example, there's my gun oil, like that's like a hard plastic bottle. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like not like you're not getting a little like squeezy CLP bottle, because if you like fucking fall on it, it explodes everywhere, and now you have no CLP, and CLP, everything smells like CLP. Yeah. And then just the bare minimum cleaning tools that you might actually need at the front. I should mention a lot of guys had pistols. I didn't have a pistol. I chose to carry more mags and more ammunition and grenades than a pistol. But a lot of guys would have had, they would sacrifice something on their belt for a pistol. Always a hard plastic holster, usually directional, and something to secure it to you. So it's a choice I made, but others mostly chose the opposite. So I just, for those that worry about having a secondary, like it is important. Like you're in a trench and fucking your thing, you hear that click of death. It's terrifying. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. So, all right, cool. Now I'm done. I'm done. Sorry. Thank you, RCR Association.
Yo, this has been a privilege for us.
Yeah.
Do you have any final words?
No, that's it.
That's it?
I'll talk all day if you keep doing this.
Okay. All right, guys. So, Sergeant Singh from 3RCR with the RCR Association podcast. Our guest today was Major Retired Dave Smith, who served with 3RCR and spent over 18 months fighting overseas in Ukraine.